Yo, welcome back to the Transfer Portal CFB podcast presented by No Context CFB. Week 3 is in the books, and you know what everyone said, Adam? It's an underwhelming slate. It's not going to be good. Week 4 is low. Let's just look onto that. And you know what? It was an underwhelming slate. It was. I ain't going to lie. You're not going to lie. But when there's an underwhelming slate in this sport, it delivers in ways that you just wouldn't expect. Who could have seen Wyoming giving Texas a run for their money for a low? Who could have seen Colorado State being the team to choke that game away against Colorado is one of the top stories in the sport. Who could have seen Georgia struggling with South Carolina, Michigan flirting with disaster against Bowling Green in the first half, Florida State squeaking by Boston College? Who could have seen it?
Yeah, see, I call these trap weeks for the fans. You think, oh, it's gonna be easy. We gotta run some errands this week, spend some time with the wife and kids before next week. And then you miss a crazy week of college football once again. It never disappoints. It really doesn't.
Yeah, it's just it was a really good week. It was the best week that we've had so far, without doubt.
Easily.
Of course, it was the week that was slandered the hardest. It started off on Thursday with Memphis Navy going down to the wire. Kind of a bizarre game there. Memphis running back Blake Watson looked immortal. He looked like nobody could tackle him. Even if they sent 11 at him, he was going to deflect every defender and just go off. But that game ended with, dude, I got beef with the chain gang. Did you see it?
I missed it. What happened?
Okay. So Navy had like a fourth and something, like fourth and medium, like 6 or 7 or something. Maybe it was 11, dude. I don't remember the numbers. I remember the chain gang on Navy sideline. It was set up like a yard and a half short of the yellow down marker on our screen. On the other sideline, on the Memphis sideline, it was set up where the yard marker really was, like where the yellow line was. So the Navy receiver Jay and Umbarger like knows, all right,
Run to the
I just
sticks.
gotta get to his sticks, easy first down. He accomplishes that. They set it up. He gets the first down. They even measure it. It's clearly a first down because of where that chain was. Then the Memphis chain guy's like, hey, wait, hold up. This ain't a first down. So I lost the game on that. Down forward, like 10 seconds left.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. That's a full yard off.
That's bad.
Like
Like that can't happen. It happened again in another game. I forget which one.
I've never seen that.
It happened again in another game on Saturday night. I forget. I forget which game, but I called. I was pretty baffled by that. Maryland, Virginia happened. Maryland, just
Virginia.
Virginia stinks.
Jesus.
I don't know if you want me to rant about that. I don't know if we need to get into that.
I mean, what else can you say? I mean,
That
Maryland
they
isn't bad, but I mean,
like I think Maryland's completely mediocre. Their schedule's pretty comfy. Like it's not a very tough Big Ten schedule,
mm-mm.
all things considered. And back-to-back weeks, they've gone down 14-0 to Virginia and Charlotte. I see the smirk on your face there. Not great.
Take it by lower. You got to figure it out.
Yeah, Virginia's got massive issues. Proud to have them in the stinkers draft.
They almost beat James Madison.
Which is they're off like everyone that goes out there and slanders the Clemson offense needs to do the same for Virginia because it's the same stuff there
There's a
with
little bit
Tony
different
Elliott.
expectations there, I feel like.
Yeah, there's different expectations, but there's also the expectation as a football fan, like, hey, can our offense just be a little competent and not rely on swings and screens every down? Like they go out there, they blistered a 14-0 start because of
It
the
started
script
hot.
they had in place. And then when the script is gone, Tony is spamming swings and screens and nothing goes right. Like the dude that's got the sticks on the other side and your Madden game knows everything that you're doing 3 plays before you do it, and you're still intent on like sticking to. It's just bad. It's just bad. The Army UTSA game was the meep meep is like the
TSA, man, what happened?
it's looking bleak for UTSA. I don't know if you want to speak on that.
I mean, I didn't get to watch that game either. I had a pretty busy
Oh,
Friday, but
gotcha. Popular guy, popular guy. So UTSA clearly has issues on the offensive side of the ball with the departure of Stein to Oregon. Like, I don't think none of us really made as big of a deal of that departure as we should have. Like, it's massive. When Frank Harris is playing, he doesn't look right. He's in his like 16th year of college football. He doesn't play in this game, and dude, they look so lost on offense if they weren't running the ball. Tyke Ogle Kellogg, who I've been talking about for a bit, had a Hail Mary touchdown at the end of the first half, which was sick. But Army's offense is sensational to watch. This new kind of shotgun based option game,
I mean, yeah, I saw
it's must
looking at
see.
the stats, they were running all over them.
They're picking up they're going for
Like,
a like 4th and 7 too, and they're throwing and
yeah.
picking up PIs, and they are the three service academies have like become must see offenses for me with the new schemes. It's incredible.
I want to watch them play. I don't know how you win a game, score 37 points, and people have 8 receptions as a team. I think that's insane. How does that
Oh,
happen?
Isaiah Austin's like a legit NFL capable receiver too. He's just over there on that run
He's
for
just they're
some.
just vibing.
He really he mossed Rashad Wisdom, if I'm not mistaken, too. He got the
Oh
best of
wow.
them. Hopefully see that on Sundays. Maybe not Rashad again, Moss. But yeah, Air Force then throttled Utah State. Then we got into the Saturday slate. What happened with Georgia, South Carolina?
I mean, I think South Carolina's game plan was amazing to start. Like Spencer Rattler, he's getting the ball out quick. Georgia, another slow start. It's just it's kind of like what you said. Once that script goes away, you actually have to start playing football. And the
Yeah,
second half did not look good for South Carolina. And I wanted
yeah.
them to pull it out. I thought they had a shot, but Georgia,
The yeah, the Antoine Wells like just keeps getting hurt too. He
yeah,
had such a good play on that touchdown. I feel awful for him that he just keeps getting hurt and can't stay healthy. It's awful. I forget what Shane Beamer said to half. Do you remember what he said?
I don't remember. No.
Okay, I'm looking for this. He said something at the half about how they were just, oh, we're kicking their butts right now. We just need to keep on going. And then Georgia scored 21. Amazing. I love Shane Beamer and the great content he is, but we got to figure out what to say and when to say it sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be hype. You're up 14-3. You got to try keep your team fired in, locked in. But
We're kicking their butts right now. Gives up 21 unanswered. I don't know, man. I don't know. Florida State, Boston College.
oh man, that was shocking. I I kind of give Florida State a little bit of a pass because Jordan Travis he didn't look healthy. Um,
They had a few other guys out too. Like
yeah,
Robert Scott was out.
yeah, but I mean Boston College it might be a penalty away from winning that game.
Like the weather was like,
Yeah, the weather
you
was
know,
bad.
the weather was bad, and it's like, okay, underwhelming slate road game at this lowly Boston College team for a team that's being crowned now. Florida State being crowned like a national championship like contender. Like I'm thinking, all right, maybe they won't cover. They're certainly going to win by double digits.
Hmm.
I just I don't know what happened.
I mean, they kind of just took their foot off the gas. They were
Which you
up.
can't do.
They were up what 15 or something like that.
They were up. Yeah, 15 entering the fourth.
Yeah, I mean they just took their foot off the gas.
Yeah.
it was a good wake up call for them though. You have, like you said, underwear. We have Clemson next. You,
Looking ahead,
looking
perhaps. Yeah.
ahead, now they got some that they can look at on film and make corrections. So I
Yeah,
don't see it
they're
as a bad loss. I don't think it's such thing as a
it does
bad win.
worry me though, and that's why I moved them down my rankings, since I didn't like what I saw from the secondary at all. You're letting
Yeah.
Thomas Castellanos throw for 305 on you. I'm not liking that one bit. We could move on though. Texas. Talk about
Oh
Texas.
my gosh.
It
I
was a nice
mean,
fourth quarter.
it was the game plan that we had. It was just so bland. It kind of reminded me of Rice, where
Oh gosh.
we just weren't taking shots down the field. We're not stretching the ball. It's all just screens, misdirections, trying to establish a run, which I'm fine with. You want to get your running backs involved and stuff, but it was just so bland. It looked like it was building up to a classic Texas loss, but
It would have been the most Texas thing to go and beat Alabama the way that they
100%,
did, and then come back and lose to Wyoming when
one
everyone's
hundred
declaring them the
percent.
back. Well, I'm very happy for you that you guys didn't blow this game. Wyoming would have been the de facto Big 12 champion this season.
Yep.
Like we can't. I don't think we can have that.
No, no, but I mean, they got it done. Seemed like it was a
Yeah,
very bland game plan. They're just trying to get to Baylor without getting hurt,
yeah,
which
that's
I
fair.
guess
Great teams find ways, and they found a way. I mean, asserted their dominance in the fourth quarter. The run game was just too nasty. Nothing could. Wyoming just. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, after that first drive, they really didn't do anything.
They had a chance too. They had a drive in the third quarter where they got their field goal that
Yeah,
felt like it took 6 hours. It
that
was
was the
just
first
never
drive
ending.
of the first drive they had.
It felt like it was never ending. Ohio State offense looked like an Ohio State offense, putting up 63 on my poor Hilltoppers. That game was close. It was 14-7. Western Kentucky's driving, has a chance to go score there. And they wait, no, I don't know. Whatever. It was 14-10 at one point, and from there, Ohio State was like, we're pretty much
35.
just done with being the laughing stock right now. Yeah, they fire out 35 real quick in the second quarter. Right after Western went out there and scored, you saw the immediate deep ball to Marvin Harrison Jr., which is like, where has that been for the last 2.5 weeks?
But it seems like Ohio State, they finally, I think Kyle McCord is the guy now, right? Like, you know,
He's their QB1. Yeah, it
he's a
depends if you're
QB1.
like me and not buying into it still. I'm still gonna call him Kyle Mediocre. I think it's the best nickname
It
in the
takes time.
sport.
It's only been 2 weeks.
It
Like
does
it's been,
take
it takes
time, but
time.
like,
Like people are. I think people are way too hard on him. You
yeah,
know.
but like you were playing Indiana and you were playing the Penguins, man.
I mean, yeah, I'm not trying to crown him, but like a lot of QBs. I mean, they've struggled. Your boy Drew Aller, he's not lighting it up
He's
because
not.
it takes time. You
It does
know
take time. Patience is a virtue. The good
exactly.
thing is Penn State's got a pretty nasty run game that they could just rely on an elite defense.
They
Ohio
do.
State, the O line worries me, and the defense still got some holes.
Well, they had to figure it out by next week.
They're
They
gonna
got six
have to.
days.
I don't think they're winning
Got
that game. I
six
don't know about you.
days.
I've been ready to pick Notre Dame for what 2-3 weeks now. Like I'm so off this Ohio State team.
Mm, I'm still on the fence. I'm still deciding on
On
that
the
one.
fence. All right, we'll see who you pick, man. Yeah, Penn State again,
Your
30
boys.
13 Big Ten West matchup, lowly Illinois. Look, as someone who has declared them the number one team in the country, which again, your point was fair, right? Asking if they've played like a number one team in the country. I don't think that they have, but again, I don't think anyone has. I think on a technicality, if there's one team that has played like the number one team in the country, I think it's Washington because theirs going out there handling business and Penix is putting up 800 passing yards a game, and that's just kind of what they're going to do all season, whether they fly under the radar or not, which they currently are. But I like 30 and 13, I think is just a fair kind of expectation for that. I'm glad that they cover. I think that's good. The game was never in question either. It was just ugly.
It's just Big Ten football, man.
It's gross. It's the worst
It's
product.
just Big Ten football.
It's disgusting. Well, I wish that we could see Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan like go out there and play marquee non-conference games more and just have a good brand of football where you're like the Rose Bowl is always entertaining. It's always good because they're not playing Iowa, they're not playing Northwestern or Illinois. They could go out there and showcase their brand instead of run it 46 times. And it's just like I don't know, man. Like, I would love to see these teams play better competition, and Michigan takes the easy way out, just plays the worst
All the
non-conference
time.
schedules possible. It's whatever. I don't know, man. Like,
Well, I mean,
I wish that we could see Penn State like go up against LSU or Georgia or something, and just see how they match up instead of having to hope and wait for the playoff.
I think we'll see. I mean, we're going to see that next year with USC and all those boys coming in.
Which it's
You know,
so funny that people are like, yeah, let's see if SC could come to Kinnick and play in Iowa in 45-degree weather and run the ball. Like, dude,
I
I think they'll
mean,
be fine.
yeah, I'm not worried about
Let's
that.
see,
Michigan,
let's see what
Michigan has
Iowa's
Texas.
offense can do against USC's defense. I want to see that.
Michigan has Texas next year.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Harbaugh put his big boy pants on.
Yeah, do it once every 4 years.
It's
Keep people
gonna
off
be
your back.
it's gonna be great when Harbaugh's actually off to the NFL after a season. Just leaves the next guy with the Texas game. Yeah, Washington.
Michigan
Just
State. Oh my
yeah, their
gosh,
thing. I feel bad
dude.
for poor Mark had to go out there and coach that game, like and just staying on the sidelines. Like, why am I here? He didn't deserve that.
Michigan State. I mean, you think they figure it out? Not obviously not this year. I think this year's washed, but in general, they figure it out.
It depends on who they hire. I think that there's so many good and flashy names that they could go out and hire. It really depends on that. I'm not even sure what direction they would lean in. Um, it's tough too because like this team, it has good talent. Like I think Noah Kim, especially in the Big Ten, is a very serviceable quarterback and could go out there and like get you to a bowl game and everything. But I don't know, like Antonio Gates Jr. could be a dude eventually, but like you're thinking, oh shoot, he'll probably just be off elsewhere and transfer after this
Mm-hmm.
season, and so I don't know. I don't know. They got to make the right hire, and they got to kind of analyze their guy quick and figure it out. I guess it doesn't have to be quick. I guess they could wait for the course of the season and kind of pick someone during conference championship week, but they gotta get going and figure out who their guy is going to be. I think.
Yeah, I agree. They need to figure out what their philosophy is. I feel like
Yeah.
recently they've been trying to like out recruit people, and that's the old Michigan State. I feel like they didn't really do that. They kind of developed talent.
Yeah.
Every 3 years they had a roster full of seniors and a couple transfers that come in, and then they get rolling. But it just seemed like they kind of went away from that. And I'm sorry, you just can't out recruit. Ohio State, Michigan, Penn
And
State. You just can't do it.
the name that's always going to stick out for me is going to Sean Lewis and hiring him because you know what you're going to get on the offensive side of the ball, and you always know that he's going to find talent and that he's going to be able to. It doesn't matter if he's getting the top guys or not in the recruiting on the offensive end, but if you hire Sean Lewis at Michigan State, you need to hire like an elite defensive mind too to pair with, and just a good bag man as well. Um, I don't know, man. I'm very worried for Michigan State. If they botch the next hire, I'm also very worried about Alabama. They're terrible. So they're straight up awful.
I think we got to relax a little bit on
I don't
Alabama.
think we do
I think we
because
got to relax a little bit.
Okay, look, the defense is really good. I'm not tripping over the defense.
Yeah,
The defense has like there's a bunch of dudes on that defense that are absolute headhunters and they're disgusting and they hit hard, they play tenacious, they play a really good brand of football. And that's like part of why I was so big on Alabama entering the season because it was like I'm thinking legit. Nick Saban's such a mastermind. He's such an elite ball coach. He's going to be able to go out there and win and contend for a natty like he was doing in the mid 2010s with mediocre quarterback play and just run the ball with dominance, elite offense line, elite defense. Is not the case. Kyron Samuels has pointed out a bunch, former offense lineman at Jacksonville State, has pointed out a bunch that Alabama fed these dudes way too much on the offensive line. They're too big. They're not moving well.
hmm
They're heavier than the heaviest offensive line in the NFL from last season. And what's happening is they're just getting so fatigued so quickly that they're not there in the second half, like paving piles and helping you out in the run game and helping your quarterback stand up and they're just slow.
Yeah, that what's the freshman's name? He
Caden
struggled.
Proctor,
Yeah, he struggled.
former Iowa commit, I believe.
He struggled yesterday. He struggled against Texas as well.
He's gonna be really good, but
Oh yeah, for
like
sure. But I mean, right now
yeah,
they
right
they
now
kind
it's
of
a
they kind of
struggle.
need to figure it out.
I
But
mean,
going back to like I don't know what the whole situation with the quarterback was. I've been hearing reports that Jalen Miro he wasn't benched, he was suspended.
I could believe that. I can
Um,
believe that from a Saban team, and like
yeah,
I could believe it from a college football team having a
uh-huh.
hidden suspension. We see it all the time.
Yeah. So I think he starts um next week.
All right, I
But
think that's fair.
I I like I said, it takes time, and I don't
Does
see
take time, but
I don't see
17-3 against
it's
South
17-3.
Florida,
Yeah, but Jalen Miro didn't. I think if Jalen Miro plays, they score more points.
24-3.
I think maybe 35. I think they in the 30s. But here's my thing. I don't see elite quarterback play in the SEC.
I don't
Like
need it.
I don't see a quarterback. Jaden Daniels played lights out. We'll talk about him later. But other than, I mean,
Spencer
how many?
Rattler, like Spencer Rattler, I think is the best quarterback in that conference,
He
but he
might
plays with the
be.
worst offensive line.
He might be. But how much better is he than Jalen Miro? Is he that much better?
Yeah, I think
You
Rattler's a lot better than
you
Milrow.
think he is? What
Yeah,
about
I think when
what
we're
about
talking
the
about
others?
SEC quarterbacks, I think Rattler's an interior zone and would be putting up major numbers. He still puts up incredible numbers, but like the offensive line is so bad. If he was playing on another SEC team, if
Yeah.
he was playing on Alabama, dude, like
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think he's the best. But what I'm saying is, where would you rank Jalen Miro? I guess in your tiers of
oh my
quarterbacks,
gosh,
top five. You think
I
he's top five?
is he top five? Let me figure this out. Doing this on the spot is tough.
I mean, is he? He's
Um,
better. I think he's better than Joe Milton.
I'm not a Joe Milton
I know
guy,
you're
so
not.
yeah, I
I think
don't.
he's better than Graham Mertz.
A lot of people are better than Graham Mertz, but hey, he looked good. We'll talk about that in a little. I don't like.
I think I think they'll be fine. I
You
think
have to
a
give
lot of people are
KJ
sleeping on
Jefferson
him.
the upper hand there.
I don't
Jackson
think he's
Dart,
that
you have
much
to give
better than KJ Jefferson.
what?
Uh, I don't think so.
You don't wait.
I don't think he's that much better. Like where it's like it'll be a
Like
difference
KJ's
maker.
that much better than Milrow?
Yes, where it'll be a difference that they'll lose, I guess.
I think Jackson Dart. Yeah, I mean, I give the upper hand to Dart. Well, I'm not. Georgia worries me too. I'm not really convinced by their play much at all so far. They still have quarterback issues. Uh, I don't know,
I think
man.
all these teams, I mean, I
The
think they're
quarterback play is extremely mediocre, like you
extremely
said in this
mediocre.
call.
Yeah, extremely mediocre. So I mean, they got a shot. Granted, they can lose all those games too because their quarterback play is also mediocre.
They do have a shot, but it goes back to what I was saying last week. The SEC and the SEC West in particular might just stink.
They do.
Like
I
we just
agree.
gotta throw the brand
Yeah,
name out the window and look at these teams and
I
say,
agree.
if let's not use LSU. If Alabama had Texas A&M branding, would they be ranked right now?
No,
Nope. They would not. They're hey man, Tennessee and Florida both being ranked is nuts too. I don't know where if you ranked them,
I
but
didn't.
I got beef there.
I didn't even think about ranking Florida first. I think I
Okay.
ranked Tennessee. I'm not sure. They would have been like at the bottom. I'm not
Thank
even sure.
goodness you did not rank Tennessee.
I didn't rank Tennessee.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the next game to talk about though is a desperate Florida team, which there were Florida fans that called me out today because I said one that Napier was going to be on the hot seat, and that which I thought was obvious and common sense and common knowledge, and that two that was a desperate Florida team essentially playing for their season. I don't know why Florida fans called me out for that. Like that's obscene to say. Well, that was exactly what we saw on an underwhelming slate, a massively overrated Tennessee team with a quarterback that draft type doesn't make any sense, is extremely blown out of proportion, walks into the swamp where they haven't won since like a man touched the moon for the first time. And the desperate Florida team wins. Like and really dominated that game. And I don't think that's surprising, but it shouldn't warrant Florida being ranked. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And Tennessee still ranked above Florida too, which just
That
doesn't
doesn't
make
make
sense.
sense.
I don't get it.
Just I don't know. I don't know. Tennessee. I watched that game. I obviously I'm a Florida not fan but supporter for now at least. Um, Tennessee couldn't tackle. It was so many missed tackles. You're an SEC defense. I always talk about SEC strength, SEC physicality, and Travis Etienne and Montreal Johnson just walking into the end
Trevor
zone.
Etienne's a dog.
Yeah, just so many missed tackles. Is I mean, it was disgusting from Tennessee. I agree with you. I didn't think Joe Milton was a guy. Um,
No,
he
that
connected on a couple
interception
deep
they
passes,
threw.
but just so many times that those intermediate throws, those 15, 20 yards, he doesn't have that.
Yeah, there was nothing about Tennessee in the prior 2 weeks and their wins against Virginia, which Tennessee fans were ecstatic about that win that they beat Virginia in like Tennessee fans have been calling me out too for where I've ranked them. And I got great value old takes exposed. Tennessee fans sent me into something called Bad Takes Blake or something. And like because I ranked them 14th and I ranked them behind Duke after week one. That team's dreadful. I maybe
Yeah.
not dreadful, that might be, but they're extremely again, word of the day is mediocre. The
Any team that
offensive
can't
line stinks
any
too.
team that
Like
can't stretch the field, I feel like I can't trust you week in and week out.
their receiver play has been lackluster. Their quarterback is an extreme hit or miss. Their run game is decent. Their offensive line game is just decent, and their defense is just like
Deep.
they can't tackle. They don't cover well either. So like, why are we hyping this team up because of what happened in 2022? That doesn't ever make sense.
SEC man, you
TCU's
know what
still
it is.
getting votes to be ranked, by the way.
Oh, I saw
I
that.
need
I
to
was
throw that
they
out.
had like
That's
21. They had like 21
wild.
votes.
And I think 17 or 21 points, which is I don't get it. And like I just wish that I wish that these voters were better and took this more seriously and understood things more. Florida being ranked, this is a team that with this win, their ceiling is probably what 7 wins.
Seven?
It's I think like their ultimate ceiling,
No.
if things all go well, is 7 wins. I think it's like a 5-6 win team.
I mean, I think they can beat Charlotte. They
Gonna
can beat
count them up. They
Kentucky.
they they should beat Charlotte.
They can beat Vandy. They can beat South Carolina.
But you think that this team could win 8-9 games?
Based on, I think they can go into Georgia being 6-1. I don't think that's
Maybe
far
you should
fetched.
have ranked them.
No, I didn't say that. I mean,
So it'll be 3-1. I don't think that they're gonna win against at Kentucky. I'm
that
not
one's
like
tough. I think they can. I don't.
3-2. You should beat Vanderbilt 4-2. I don't think they win South Carolina either. 4-3.
I think they get one of those games, Vandy or
Lose
South
to
Carolina.
Georgia's 5-4. 6-4, beating Arkansas, then lose to LSU, Missouri, Florida State, and your ceiling would be beating Missouri as your seventh win. So I think their ceiling is 7.
Yeah,
I don't know.
7 or 8. I'll give. I wouldn't surprise me if they get 8.
Ranking them's crazy. Sticking in the SEC though, LSU made me look like an absolute doofus for predicting that they'd start the season 1-2. Credit where credit is due. LSU put their foot down, picked it up, and kicked me straight in the face. Some sick karate stuff there. Their game plan was elite. Mississippi State's was not. I kind of Mississippi State's got issues. Really does have issues on the offensive side of the ball. Will Rogers isn't really able to cook. I still think the defense. I still have issues with the defense. I had issues with the game plan because they have a bunch of like strong physical DBs and everything, and they are playing so lax in coverage, kind of giving up everything underneath. And then Neighbors, it didn't even matter. He just straight up beat everyone deep anyway. Neighbors had 239.
Didn't have to have a safety on them.
Like there was
What do you think's
the
gonna
defensive
happen?
game plan for Mississippi State was so dreadful. Jaden Daniels goes out there and throws pinpoint dime after
He was
dime
hot.
over the top.
He was hot.
That doesn't happen often.
Yeah, I consider like when you're playing basketball, you hit that first three, you're like, oh wow, I'm on today, and then
Feeling it.
everything just opens up. It looked like he was just throwing the ball in the ocean.
I don't like that.
Malik.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Mississippi State really disappointed me from a game plan standpoint. It felt like they were completely underprepared. And Brian Kelly, on the other hand, had his team stretching in a car dealership the morning of the game. Never seen that move before. That was like straight out Friday Night Lights or something.
To get the NIL money.
Hey, man, we got another SEC team to talk about. Missouri. Yeah. What happened to K-State? What happened?
Oh my gosh, man. Just choked. Like, how do you lose that?
Look, I thought K-State was in the clear. I thought that this would be a double-digit win, and I see the line like going down every other hour. It seemed it was just like, oh, K-State 6.5, now it's 6, 5.5, 5. Like, I think close to 4.5. I was like, not great. It doesn't signify the best result, but I still think K-State will go in there, just assert themselves as a better team and everything. Nope. Missouri got them.
Missouri tried to lose. I don't know. Did you see the end? That was the craziest end. What are we doing?
I don't know if Drinkwitz was like drinking his Diet Coke or something and just completely was like unprepared and didn't realize, hey,
spaced out.
And then he said on the game-winning field goal, the penalty flag that got thrown that nobody ever heard of was K-State had 2 number 8s on the field.
That happened. Florida did that too.
Yeah, they had 2 number 3s.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Will Howard and Brady Cook both pretty much they both were dealing with lower body injuries. When Avery Johnson came in for K-State, true freshman was kind of electric at quarterback.
Fast.
He's gonna be a problem in that offense when he takes over. I gotta see him throw the ball, but dude, he's got star potential on that offense in the Big 12. He really does. He's gonna be a dog.
I think that Kansas State roster. I think they'll bounce back. I think they're still very good.
I do too.
I
bought in. Like, I bought in as like, all right, Texas, Kansas State. These are the 2 really good teams in the Big 12. The rest is just mid. And then this happened.
Only 1 week.
It's only 1 week, yeah. Brady Cook, he was slinging it a bit for Mizzou, but I think the game plan, man, Luther Burden needs more than 7 catches in the game. He needs more touches. Every time that you get him the ball, amazing
Just let him
happens.
run
It's
it. I
like
was
the
like,
old NBA commercials.
get him on an end around. You don't have to do much.
Nah,
Just give him some touches.
even last year, even as a true freshman, it was still like you gotta get him double digit touches. I don't care how you do it. You have to get him double
Mm-hmm.
digit touches. You're Missouri. He is too special of a player. He seemingly should never even be playing at Missouri because he is a talent of the highest level in this sport. Like you gotta get him the rock so much more than 7 catches. And he goes out and puts up 114 and 2 touchdowns as well. Just an absolute electric factory.
Yeah. Better get him rock because if you don't, somebody else will.
That's very true. And Harrison Mevis, he's got his yips when he's kicking short field goals. I believe it was against Mississippi State or Ole Miss last year, or maybe it was Auburn, one of the three. Uh, he missed a easy game winner,
Mm-hmm.
but every time I see this kid kick from 50 plus,
He's like what? He's like 280.
he's a big boy.
Just he's a
He's got
solid
the
280
best
too. Like
celebrations in the game. He did the salute when Missouri had the USA flag in their helmet. He's done a little robot dance after kicking a bomb, and then this one was he ran around the sideline, did a little windmill, and this rake straw Mizzou corner flipped off Kansas State's sideline. I don't know if anyone actually saw that,
I did
but
not see that.
they were going nuts.
SEC record, right? 61 yards.
Kind of wild, kind of crazy to think about. I don't know that's the I don't know. Like I really just figured that like maybe he's tying it, or maybe someone got 63 or 63.
Just a random way to get it. Like that's a random week three.
Yeah,
It's Kansas State.
I good for them though. Happy for Mevis, man. I hope he could.
Yeah.
He'd be such an electric NFL kicker too. Maybe one day. Oregon State takes care of business against San Diego State. Ole Miss eventually took care of business. I don't know what was going on against Georgia Tech for a bit. Finally, Colorado
Oh
State.
my gosh.
Madness. Game of the day.
Win the game, Colorado State. Go win the damn game. Like you're on the road. Little Wayne is there. You
Well,
know,
who wasn't there?
there's a conversation. It was looked like the BET Awards out there on the
Mark
Colorado
Jones did say
sideline.
that.
Kawhi Leonard is there. Why is Kawhi Leonard there? Like,
Kawhi
go,
Leonard never leaves the house until now.
yeah,
Doesn't even
go.
leave for his own game, so he went to go see primetime.
It's fourth and a short two.
4th and 2.
Go.
You're
You're
at
on your
midfield.
40 midfield. Go for
Two
it. Go win
minutes
the
left.
game. The game's over if they get that. The game is over.
It's game blouses. You just defeated the biggest story in college football
Did
in a
all that
game
talking.
the entire week. Not one person mentioned you. You like it's so bad too because watching that game, we are well aware that Colorado State basically had anything that they wanted. I mean, they account for I believe 500 yards. Running the ball, not as good as their pass game, but Moro's a thick back. He can get in there. Their quarterback too, Fowler Nicolisi, he could also like power his way through for 2 yards. Heck, the crossers, the drag routes were open every single play, it seemed. Torrey
That's what
Horton
I'm
had like
saying.
15 catches. Like it should have been so easy. And guess what? If Colorado goes down there 40, 45 yards, whatever, scores a touchdown, gets two, and it's 28, okay, you've probably got more than a minute left to go down and kick your field goal. The position that you put them in, yeah, it's a punt dot. Yeah, they're at the 2. Punting is never winning, it's always losing. It's the
Yeah.
coward's way out. Shador's
Cowardly.
straight up saying, hey, man, if Tom Brady could do it, I could do it. So he just goes down there, walks down 98 yards, 99 overall in the clutch. He's just different. His accuracy's unreal. Sean Lewis crafts up the perfect drive as he ends up doing in overtime a few times. And it was just too easy. And then they left you no time to even go and get a field goal for yourself. So, like, I don't get it. I'm obviously with you.
Yeah.
I
And
don't get it.
anytime I see that, I didn't really care who won. But after they did that, I was like, I kind of hope they lose because that is inexcusable to me.
How about
What do
they
you
had
have?
like 17 penalties too, just undisciplined. I don't remember who it was. I believe it was number 11 on the defense. Nasty hit on Travis Hunter. That was
Yeah,
awful. That was late. That was with malicious intent. That's more of targeting than 99.9% of targeting I ever called. That hit was just awful. Um,
I do agree though. Shador, he looks like an NFL quarterback.
definitely is.
You know,
Definitely is.
I'm
His
excited.
decision making, his accuracy, his poise. I like dude, his ball placement. Like he's a high caliber player. Now we see him in two different systems operate at a high level. Jack State and Colorado, different offense coordinators and everything. Like he and still again, Colorado's offensive line is just mediocre again. It's decent if that. Like the fact that he's able to do what he's doing and work so quickly is just so impressive. He deserves he is he deserves all the credit that he's getting, all the
Yeah,
love that he's getting.
I
Um,
agree.
he got in on the nastiness of the rivalry, poking fingers into Kamara's helmet. That was interesting. Got him in the eye. Um, and then when Colorado State scores the touchdown, another incredible play by Torrey Horton, who had 16 for 133. His touchdown overtime was spectacular. His hands are just as
He's an
sure of
NFL
a
wide
thing as
receiver.
there. He really is. He, as someone that's legit watched them since he was at Nevada in 2020 with Jay Norvell, with Romeo Dobbs, Cole Turner, Carson Strong, the whole gang, like the evolution of his game really is something. Because this game for him, it was all just like throw me a drag, throw me a quick crosser, and let me just cook people quick, pick up chunk yards and get us moving closer to the chains. His movement, that's not really stuff that we've seen in years past. That quick, sudden movement, lethal stuff, make a guy miss easy. His game has really been I'm a big play threat. I could beat you downfield. Carson Strong wants to throw me one for 85. It's going to be easy. We're going to get that done, create all the separation, massive catch radius, jump ball guy. He showed a completely different dimension to his game, which was really good to see. But yeah, like they scored the touchdown. Everyone's saying, why isn't Colorado State going for two? Blah, 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 blah. You and I know it. Jay Norvell didn't trust him to go on a 4th and 2 to win the game. Why is he going to do it now? It's coward's way out.
And the one in, I'm no point in talking about it anymore. Just next time, go win the game, please. You're on the
You
road.
always have to go win the game, but people are clowns. They're
When you're
cowards.
on the road, go win the game. If they were at home, then I understand, right? Because you have your atmosphere. I don't know what the atmosphere at Colorado State is like, but still, if you're at home,
Hey
that makes
man,
more sense.
it's a little rowdy. It's
Is it?
we had when we had Tucker Kraft on, we were interviewing him, and they South Dakota State play at Colorado State to open the season in 2021, I believe. Tucker said scored a touchdown. I think he scored a touchdown. He says they scored a touchdown for certain though. He's like, yeah, they were throwing beer at us. Colorado fans are different. Colorado State fans are different. Rushing the field though, I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Oh, I hate being that guy that's like a Debbie
A
Downer, but
boomer
like I feel like that's corny.
for
I feel like that's
23
corny.
point
I feel
favorites.
like that's corny. I would get it if because they haven't won, right? Colorado,
Yeah, they
they
just
haven't
did
been
against Nebraska.
they haven't won in a while, and so the Nebraska one makes sense, right? I get that, but back to back weeks, especially when you got USC coming, just wait the USC game. I mean, you're gonna do it,
I
do it
think
then,
if they,
if they win,
I, I think they could storm the field against Stanford and then Oregon
right?
State and Arizona.
Like,
If they get enough fans for a road game at Arizona State, I think they'd all storm the
that'd be
field.
wild.
I don't like. It's good content for me on no context and everything, but like I don't know, at some point, just stop storming the field when you're a massive favorite. Like it's just that comes off as embarrassing, as does the overrated chant when you're like an underdog and let's say you beat Clemson and then you start chanting overrated. It's just diminishing the great win you just got.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff's garbage. I don't know. Um,
Would you?
what else? What else? North Carolina, Duke both handled business. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oklahoma looked good. Did you watch them?
Oklahoma. I did not watch them.
Oh,
I did see a few clips from the game. Tulsa had one of their coaches, it might have been Wilson, that was on the sidelines and threw an absolute hissy fit, then like jumped and stood in his place and was like, "Yeah, okay, I'm here." And then Stutzman on Oklahoma had flop of the century.
I saw that. Yeah, Oklahoma looks good. Then Gabriel, like he's dealing. Keep an
He
eye out on
definitely
them.
is. I I'm kind of cautiously optimistic about them. I did watch the full game against SMU, which was 14-11, and then they get the 28-11 win. The defense really stepped up. Uh, we all kind of thought that'd be a high scoring affair, so the offense was definitely lackluster there. But I don't know, like I'm higher on them now than I was entering the season. That's for sure.
Yeah, same. I mean, they definitely we, they had to show me that they had an offense. The
Yeah,
defense I wasn't really worried about, but there was a wide receiver that had a lot of questions, but they seem to be. I
they're
mean,
doing what they need to do. They've
yeah,
beat
they're
up on
handling
Arkansas
business.
State and Tulsa. They got a sneaky quality win against a really good SMU team that I think is the best in the American. Like
Mm-hmm.
now, let's see what you could do at Cincy, who just lost to Miami of Ohio.
Yeah,
Hey man, I want that. I don't want to say that to trap or anything because Texas isn't for a few weeks. But let's not go and flirt with disaster against Cincy. Can't be having that. Washington State also took care of business. Good quality ball club that I'm very high on. Very high on. Uh,
who do you
Dante
think?
Moore,
Who do you think's better,
dude.
Washington State or Colorado if they played?
I think Washington State's better.
By a
You,
lot.
you saw where I got Washington State. I think that I think Washington State is up there. Like I think it's in the Pac-12. I think it's Washington and USC as the two top dogs. They're the best teams in the
Yes,
conference.
obviously.
Then right below that, I think it's Oregon. I think it's Oregon State. I think it's Washington State. I think that those are the next three best teams.
Okay. I
Like
was just
Washington
curious.
State won't get credit for their defense because that's just the stigma. That's the brand. Like nobody's gonna go out there and say, "Oh, Wazoo plays good defense." They got two NFL caliber players in their secondary, and Jane Hicks and Shaw Smith Wade, and they've got NFL talented guy in their front seven, Ron Stone, and then their offense is also just electric. Like they play a really good brand of football. Uh, Pac-12 is just low. Like I said, UCLA boat race, really good HBCU, and then the Central. Dante Moore's ball placement for a true freshman. There aren't words to describe it, Adam.
Did UCLA, did they run out the whole 50-man roster again like they've been doing?
Yeah, pretty much. Dante Moore was out of the game before the first quarter
Like
ended.
I want to turn it on. I want to see the full thing. I want to see you go from on 60,
I
get on
mean,
the highway.
I mean they
Show it
like
to me.
they scored 35 in the first quarter.
Yeah, this game was better, but the games before, the other
The
two
games
games, I
before
mean, come on,
the Coastal game was bad because
we're on
if
cruise
you're playing
control.
multiple quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. And then Dante Moore says, "I don't care about that anyway. Chip put me in. Finally get my chance. I'm gonna fire off a few darts, and it's just easy." Dante Moore is like he's like I know myself and a bunch of other people like overuse the word special to describe stuff and everything, but he is actually special.
I'm excited to watch him.
Better be.
Who do y'all have next?
They have Utah this week.
Ooh.
Week 4 is not week 4. You have
Ooh.
Utah, UCLA, and Oregon, Colorado at the same time.
We're gonna
They
find out
put them
real
both
quick.
at 12:30 Pacific.
Find out real quick about these teams.
We will. What's some other stuff that caught your eye around the country?
Um, BYU, Arkansas. I was very disappointed in the Razorbacks. Even though I picked BYU to win, I thought
Hey,
Arkansas would actually win the game. I just picked BYU to try and gain some
be
ground.
different.
Try and gain some ground.
I gotta look at that and see where we're at. I also had BYU kind of for the same reason,
Mm-hmm.
but
Arkansas
also
just
a complete fate of Arkansas. Their schedule coming up,
it's brutal, and that's why I thought
gauntlet.
they might be able to get that game. But
Oh
Kansas is
shoot,
3-0.
I went 8-2 this week.
Oh, you did?
Wow. Oh no, my losses were Mississippi State and Kansas State. That's whoops. Yikes. Maybe I shouldn't have picked Mississippi State. Um, but what's their name? Wisconsin, I still don't get it. They if Davis Brin didn't turn the ball over 76 times, Georgia Southern would have won at Wisconsin. They
I was pretty high on them. That's kind of a letdown.
I so as someone that has hate watched, like no cap, straight up hate watched Wisconsin all three games this season. Um, I know they're I know they're because I didn't like him coming into here and everything. Obviously, spoiled dairy raid, whatever. I don't think Mordecai's that guy. Their receiving core isn't very good. The offensive line, the run game is really good, but that's not really what they want to do at the end of the day. Like so, and I think the defense is just kind of bland, and they could be exposed in the secondary, but not when Davis Brin is handing you these interceptions on a silver platter. He's just throwing it to the wrong uniform completely. They've come out awful in the first half of all three games, but Fickle's second half adjustments have saved them, and relying on the run game and the offensive line in the second half is saving them. When they start to play better teams, like when they play Washington State, and you've dug this hole, you're not going to be able to come back in the
Yeah.
second half like that off your ground game. Get the ground game going in the first half.
I mean, I feel like head coaches they kind of I want to
Figure it
say
out.
they
I mean,
like
he's an elite ball.
yeah, I think they get in their head, they try to be cute, sometimes try and do too much and just stick to what works.
Yeah,
You
that's
see that a
definitely
lot.
true.
Come up with this fancy game plan. We're gonna do this, and this. And then second half, okay, that didn't work. Let's just go back to what we've been doing. Look what happens.
Idaho scared Cal. That was 17-0. Jaden Otlis Cal able to come back and win.
Very nice. Very
I was
nice.
hyped for Idaho though, man. I was thinking they were about to pull off something special. UNLV Vanderbilt. Did you watch this game?
I didn't.
Nobody watched this game. What a shame. This could go down as one of the best games of this season that nobody watched.
You watched that game? But what
Yeah,
time did they
I
play?
watched it.
Who was
It
playing?
was it was it
What
was
state was
during
it?
it was at like 4 Pacific, so during Florida and everything.
Oh, okay. So,
It was Vandy raced off to a 17-0 lead, and UNLV QB Doug Brumfield got hurt again. I feel awful for him. He can't stay healthy. It's bad. Like I really do feel bad for him. I think he was throwing up on the sideline, came back in, and then got
wow.
hurt. So just like brutal for him. They put in a kid who I quickly do my research after a few throws because I'm like, oh shoot, they might actually have something. Jaden, I don't know how to say his last name. Jan Mayavi, something like that. He's a freshman, 6'4" from Vegas. Went to Liberty High School, which is kind of a few minutes away from UNLV and everything. All things considered, Vegas pretty close and everything. Guess he chose UNLV over like Auburn, Tennessee, and some other
Wow.
like strong schools. So he's apparently he's like he was on the radar. Like colleges were hip to him. Threw for 261. He had a really bad interception that it looked like that game was cooked. It was in a tie game. Vandy ends up missing a field goal. That was that game, man. I don't like know how to put this thing into words. It was such a roller coaster for both teams. It was just really good though. UNLV's offense had struggled coming in. It was kind of backwards of what I thought it'd be. I thought it'd be an electric offense that is winning these high scoring games while the defense struggles. Their defense is really good. It makes me really happy as someone that picked them to make the Mountain West Championship game because their defense can compete with anyone, I think. And if they found something in the offense with Jan at quarterback,
You say he's a freshman?
he is a freshman. Like he fired. It was a tie game with like uh 2.5 minutes left, and he fires off a 48-yard touchdown, frozen rope to take a 37-30 lead. Gave him too much time. Vandy came back, scored. Bad interception. He just didn't see the guy underneath on the sideline. Vandy missed field goal. He gets him back in field goal range to go hit the game-winning field goal. He had another 48-yard completion to Ricky White. Like
I'm going to watch these highlights. I see the score.
it was one of the most electric games that
So,
nobody's ever gonna see.
Vandy put up 420 in the fourth quarter.
It was good. Like these are the games that nobody's really watching, but they're electric and it's good. And the SEC overrated. UNLV is not back. UNLV is here for the first time in seemingly forever.
Another loss
I
for the SEC.
their offense is so fun to watch. Some of the looks that Coach Marion has, he's obviously going to be a hot name on the carousel in a minute. But Cincy losing to Miami of Ohio, sick man. South Alabama putting a whooping
Oklahoma
on Oklahoma State.
What
They
oh
are
my
awful,
gosh.
which goes to say how bad ASU is.
Oh my gosh. What happened?
I don't know what happened because I didn't watch it. South Alabama disappointed me a lot. Week 1 against Tulane. They did what they did to Oklahoma State that I thought that they would do to Tulane. Throw the ball at a high level, run the ball at a high level, play really good lockup defense, and win like a 24-17 kind of game against Tulane. They go out there Oklahoma State 32.
They didn't even Oklahoma State didn't score to the fourth quarter. They did.
Hey man, if you have 3 quarterbacks, you really have
the
0.
Going in, I would think Alan Bowman would be the guy.
They're all terrible. Well, I don't know. Like they have
I
nothing.
thought Bowman would be decent. Not great, but decent. But
I don't know where Oklahoma State goes from here. I really don't.
This year might be Charles, and they got to find a quarterback.
They have to find a quarterback, but
that's going to be number one.
How much leeway does Gundy get as a head coach? I think that's a big question. He is very proven, but you got to make tough decisions in this business. If they're just going to keep struggling like this, man, you can't be losing. I love South Alabama. I love the program and that team, even though they disappointed me. It's a complete team. It's a really good ball club. You can't lose 33-7 on your home field.
You can't. I don't. But I don't think that you want to make. You don't want to. If I'm Oklahoma State, and I know that Texas, Oklahoma are leaving, last thing I want is to have to re-flip my whole program around and start from the beginning. I don't think that you would
do it. I don't think that you would do it this year after this season, but if it went south again next year,
next year I think but
it's another story.
Because I think next year the Big 12 is open for the taking.
Yeah, wide open. SMU put up a cool 69 points. No biggie. Preston Stone's different.
Mm-hmm.
Legit.
I'm going to go watch them play.
You need
to make that a thing. I want to go watch them.
Try and get some transfer portal hookups there with SMU.
I have
to. Tell them Liam sent you. James Bass and Troy was a really good game too. Chaotic 16-14, but it was pretty chaotic. JMU, what a team. What a team, man. West Virginia, Pitt. Hey man. Philly Yurkovich. You fooled us a long time ago, buddy.
I owe West Virginia an apology. I thought they would be terrible, and they're not.
Their offensive line's so good.
That was yeah, and they had somebody got hurt for the offensive line too.
And they're having to play backup
And
quarterback
yeah,
Nico Marshall.
they
I think
they look
Nico could
good.
be good eventually. CJ Donaldson, former tight end, now running back. One of the craziest random transitions. Uh, he talked about the West Virginia offensive line, said, I love running behind that front five, like the Great Wall of China. And they had another good quote too, because Beanie Bishop, who I believe picked off Yurkovich, said, we knew coming into this game that their quarterback wasn't good at their job.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, they have a lot of stuff to figure out. But West Virginia, they're surprising me. I picked them to finish last in the Big 12. And I might have been wrong.
Perhaps. TCU put the beat down on Houston. What's
Oh,
going on?
Houston, they need to be making a coaching change. And I think it's coming sooner
Real
rather than
soon.
later,
Interesting.
from what
Who's a
I'm hearing.
potential name that you would think?
I haven't really thought about it. I know Houston is, I mean, it's a big market. It has a draw, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure. I have to think about that.
GJ
Because
Kinney.
who? What did you say?
GJ Kinney. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not Brad Marion?
I mean, there's a lot of names.
There
It's
are.
tough because, like I said, they're going into the Big 12 is so wide open. Like, there's no like top dog, so that they don't have
Yeah.
to, you know, I don't want to say like pick up scraps from the other teams in the conference as far as recruiting goes. So it might be opportunity where you can make a bigger hire and try and take over that recruiting in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
But they need to do something because
Yeah.
they can't rely on basketball to bring in the money. Got
Speaking
football's where
of
the money's at.
basketball, I don't know why Kansas only beat Nevada by 7. That makes me feel so much worse about the Big 12. I don't know what that was. Devin
Kansas is 3-0
Neal's
though. 3-0
nasty.
still. They're
Yeah.
3-0.
All right. I forgot to bring this up when you talk about Miami, Ohio, Cincy. They've got a receiver at Miami, Ohio, a junior, Gage Larvardane, who every time he touches the ball, something crazy happens. He's got 18 catches this season for 449 and 5 touchdowns. That's about 25 yards per catch. In the game against Cincy, 2 catches, 96 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. This kid's he's a cheat code.
He's just
He is
running
like,
down the field.
I mean, he plays with such insane game speed. I need to write about an article on him soon, but I keep talking about these other receivers for the articles. I think I've done a receiver every week. I have. Oh gosh.
It's just so many receivers in football now. It's hard not to.
It's deep. It's so deep. Whether it's one of the Colorado State kids, whether it's Lavardane at Miami, Ohio, whether it's a true freshman at South Coast, they're everywhere. Let's go with the most impressive performance.
For me, it was Jaden Daniels. I mean,
Hmm.
there was a lot of questions about him and LSU, especially after that Florida State game. If they were going to kind of seize control of Alabama, um, being down and take that number 2 spot in the SEC, get back to the SEC championship. And I had my doubts, and he looked good. Every throw, he looked calm, poised in the pocket, wasn't panicking, taking the hits and still delivering the ball down the field. That fourth down throw that he threw to Malik, where he took a shot, beautiful throw, took guts to do that.
Yeah,
Jane
I've got
Daniels.
to echo that because I'm not. I'm a fan of I like watching him play. I just I don't think he's as good as people make him out to be, but he was as good as anybody on Saturday. So credit where credit's due. You gotta get pressure on them though, and Mississippi State was not generating anything in the pass rush. So take notes, upcoming LSU opponents, blitz. But yeah, he was super impressive. For me, honestly, it's Colorado State as a whole. Because I thought, like everyone else, Colorado was gonna go in there and just blitz right through them, easy dub. Offense was gonna go nuts and everything, but Colorado State impressed in numerous ways. And I think after this got 7-7, I was like, okay, this is actually going to be a close game. This isn't going to be a ball. We have something on our hands. So for a number of reasons, Jay Norvell, hype the way that he was able to hype his team up and prepare them for this game. Again, credit where credit is due. I might not be his biggest fan, but this was one of the best coaching jobs that I've seen from him in the course of his last 2 years coaching. And I've watched the vast majority of his games because I was infatuated with this Nevada team. It's like this was one of his best coaching performances, and I don't even think it's up for debate. When we get down to it, though, those penalties and not going for it on the 4th and 2 or the 2 point
That's what
conversion,
I was gonna
that's
say.
gotta be better. But man, as a whole, this is a Colorado State team that wasn't there to show up for a game. Like they were hitting hard. It was violent, it was nasty and feisty.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want to see in these local rivalry games. And we got a show, and it was just really good to see this from a Colorado State program that is not looked at right now as one of the better teams in this conference at all. They're looked at in the lowest tier. Like, and they found something at quarterback, and that's impressive too, is Braden Fowler Nicolosi, because they never had anything with Clay Midland. He was extremely overrated. There was never any substance there. Nicolosi comes in. You can't say enough good things about him. Dallin Holder at Holker, sorry, at tight end was getting NFL draft hype. Look at what this game did for Colorado State. Torrey Horton became a millionaire because of his performance on Saturday night. He
Mm-hmm.
was already someone that should have been an NFL guy, but he put himself on the map in one of the most rare opportunities that any college football player could any get. Because, like you said, everybody who was anybody was on Colorado sidelines for this game. You saw people in the East Coast time zone tweeting about this game until the final whistle. That doesn't happen out west. This isn't normal. So
Mm-hmm.
Colorado State, very impressive. They showed up to this stage and delivered a very memorable and remarkable performance, even with the loss. I was very, very impressed. How about most disappointing performance?
I have two. I
Okay.
agree with you about a Colorado State. I added them to most disappointing because they just didn't finish. That's why I was disappointed, because I agree everything you said. They look great. They look like the better team for the majority of the game. A lot of players on that team, a lot of players on that field made a lot of money. Everybody was watching. It was so disappointing for them not to finish. We're not going to talk about it again, but just go win the game. I was so disappointed when they
You
didn't go
got
win
you
that
you
game.
gotta just drop your nuts.
It was just so it wasn't disappointing a performance. It was disappointing, I guess, decision. Um, Worst performance was Tennessee's front seven. Oh, just absolutely uninspiring football. You're on the road. I don't. Florida's back is against the wall. The SEC is right there for the not the SEC East because Georgia, but you have a chance to be this a really good team. You have all this hype. Yeah, the quarterback isn't great, but Florida's quarterback isn't that great either. You know what Florida's going to do. They have one game plan: run the ball,
Mhm.
and you just uninspired, not hustling to the football, not wrapping up. Just absolutely disgusting.
Well, it was most disappointing for me. I think it has to be Stanford because you're out there. You've
How is
got Coach
Stanford
Taylor because
disappointing?
you
It's
have
Stanford.
Coach Taylor coming in from Sacramento State. He's at Stanford now, and you just lost to your former school, an FCS powerhouse, that you just left them for Stanford, and you lose 30 to 23 at the farm. You can't be having that. I know it's year one, but what we saw against Hawaii was flashy and it was a fun Stanford rejuvenated offense that we haven't seen in years past. I really felt like Stanford actually had something where at least they'd be fun to watch and they would take care of some of these games. And I'm not expecting a big win here. Like they were 6.5 point favorites and everything, but yeah, I'm expecting them to beat Sac State by 10 for Coach Taylor to beat his former program. I just, yeah, be better. I was very disappointed that they, especially when we're talking about the Pac-12 and how deep it is on the league. And yeah, we're not getting into the Stanfords and the ASU's and everything, but you gotta take care of business, especially against your former team. That's why. That's why. How about the player that most stood out to you? We'll go with for the last one because we've been on here for a minute.
Player that stood the most. I kind of thought long about this one. I'm gonna go with Jalil Farouk, wide receiver from Oklahoma. Coming into the season, that was Oklahoma's biggest question mark as far as their positions go. In my opinion, was a wide receiver. Who's going to replace Marvin Mims? Come and be that number one guy. And Jalil Farouk, he was a favorite, and I think he's living up to it. Fast, strong, his good hands. Route running needs improvement, but it looks like it's getting a little bit better. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Oklahoma because Texas doing their stuff, Kansas State, what they did last year. Oklahoma's the real deal, and I think with Jalil Farouk, I think he's going to open up a lot of eyes, and he's going to be making a lot of money here this season.
I think that that's a good call, man. And Oklahoma's definitely kind of so thriving under the radar right now, and we'll see what happens as the schedule picks up. But again, the SMU win was impressive, and Farouk is a dog. And I, for my player, I've said a bunch of people, so I don't want to like double dip. I'm gonna go to I did mention him early on, but Blake Watson at Memphis. I think it's fair to
I like
bring the
that.
attention back to him. He
I
is
like that.
the Old Dominion transfer has solidified himself as one of the best running backs in the group of five, and he's going to be a hot NFL draft name. Had a fumble on the goal line, which we don't like to see, or else he'd have 2 touchdowns. But man,
He
he
was a
had
whole
six.
offense.
He had 6 catches for 68 yards, and he had 10 carries that he turned into 169. 10 carries he turned into 169 and a touchdown. You're going to hear about his name a whole lot more in these coming months, especially when we get to that NFL draft talk. He's 5'9", 190. That's a really good build for a running back. For someone that tore it up, but very low key at Old Dominion the last 3 seasons, he's taking advantage of his opportunity at Memphis, and he's not looking back. And he's really going to be a coveted day 3 running back in the NFL draft. And there's going to be an NFL team that takes him, and they're going to look really smart for taking him because he's going to get on the field. And he's going to do work. He's explosive. He's one of the hardest guys I've like. He's so hard to tackle.
Yeah, it's that low center of gravity. I like him a lot. I agree with that. Great receiver back. I think he leads the team in receptions.
Does he really? I wouldn't be surprised by that, but good for him. that helps his pockets.
Yeah, I know he's up there on the team in receptions, so I like him a lot. I agree. I think he might be able to sneak into day 2. It kind of just depends.
Perhaps depends how he tests and everything.
Yeah,
but,
combine and stuff. But apparently that matters.
It does apparently. We'll see though. We'll close that with little top 25 talk and just kind of. I mean, you and I did DM about it last night, but let's tell the people some of our rankings and everything. You're talking high about Oklahoma. You've got them at 17. I've got them at 21. Some other teams that stand out on your poll or my poll. We both got James Madison.
We both have James Madison.
You got him 22. I got him 23.
We already talked about Penn State. You have them 1. I have them 7. I just don't see
either you'll see the vision eventually, or
And we're
When
kind
Penn
of flipped.
State
Like I
Penn
have
State's gonna
Michigan
free
one,
fall from
and
it.
you have Michigan's
Yeah, I've
six.
had Michigan as a consistent six because I haven't seen anything from them through this cupcake gauntlet, we'll call it. I haven't seen enough from them yet to warrant like a top tier ranking. I just think that the teams in front of them, really aside from Georgia, have proven that they're better teams right now. I'm not happy about where I have Georgia ranked. I I don't think that they've really lived up to the number two team in the country, Bill. So we'll see if that changes after this week. If it's another lackadaisical performance, I'll move Georgia down. But I'm pretty content with where I have Michigan. It's really a 2 game schedule,
Yeah, I agree.
unless they actually lose to Minnesota, which in that case, yikers.
My philosophy for Michigan and Georgia is they just based on I don't like ranking teams on what they did last year, but they haven't played anybody. So it's
Mm,
kind of just at least for the first 3 weeks, 3, 4 weeks, I kind of just give you I gotta just
leeway.
I give you some leeway. If you keep looking bad, then I'm gonna start dropping you. Then it goes based off what have you done, not what have you been. So I put Michigan one because I thought if they played today, Michigan would win.
All right, I think that's fair. We're different at 3 because I have Washington all the way up there. You have Washington at 5. You have Texas at 3. I have them at 8. You have SC at 6. I have them at 4.
Yeah.
We have Oregon and Ohio State and Oregon State at the same rankings 9, 10, 11.
Yeah. For Texas is they just have the best win. Well,
They
not
do.
it doesn't look so good right now,
Where
but
do you have Alabama? 13. You still
I
have
know.
them? Okay. That plays into what you were saying earlier, though.
Yeah, I still I just I
Or are
think
you just trying to
when you get
strengthen the Texas win?
oh, it wasn't that I just Duke, LSU, Ole Miss. I think Alabama beats them. We'll find out with Ole Miss
Hey,
soon.
man. All
But
I could say, Nick Saban would love to have that Duke quarterback.
oh, he would a lot first.
Oh, Riley Leonard, the Alabama native, he would
The,
love to have that man at QB.
there's a lot of teams on here that would love Riley Leonard.
There are
But
most slept on player in the country. I don't care. We both have LSU at 15. You have Wazoo at 19. I have them at 13. What else is there? You ranked Fresno State.
yeah,
Mizzou, you ranked.
I did. You don't have Mizzou. You have Air
I
Force.
do not. I do have Air Force. Air Force, dude. Air Force actually might have something. I'm not kidding. Air Force might have something. The way you gotta, it's just a team that you've got to watch to really. It just appeals to the eye. I think that they're gonna. I don't know. Boise State's really disappointed me through 3 games, including the win against North Dakota. But Air Force really impressed me on Friday. It was 39-21 win, but that game was out of hand early. Air Force, like, well, they scored 22 in the first quarter. I think they were up 28-0. They have their quarterback Zach Larrier won championships. I believe it was either I think it was just Mountain West. I don't think it was national. He won track championships, indoor and outdoor. He's a freak of nature with his speed, man. And their ground game's just I think I've bought into Air Force. Yeah.
I see you have Tulane in there
Yeah, I don't think it was fair to for I
at
moved Tulane.
21. You have
I
them above
moved
Oklahoma
so
and
because
Colorado.
I was hesitant about Tulane entering the season. I didn't have them ranked entering the season. I was lower on them. I thought that they could start 1-2, maybe even 0-3. They're 2-1. I don't think it was fair for people to unrank them after the Ole Miss loss. I thought that was a close loss at home with your backup quarterback.
I
It
agree.
ends up being a 17-point loss, but that was a 7-point game where you got a fourth down stop, but a false start. turns that into like a 54-yard field goal that's made. Now it's a 10-point game, turnover, take it back to the house. There's your 17. It was a really close game. I don't think it was fair for people to unrank Tulane after that. I moved them up after the loss. I like to look more than just the W and the L, and Tulane's really impressed me. Their speed on defense is crazy.
I was trying to decide between them and Missouri. I went with Missouri.
SEC bias. I see who you work for. I don't know. Anything else? Wait, I'm not even the only one with Air Force rank. Sick.
You're not. Andrew has them too.
Sick.
I guess.
It's cold.
Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma's too low for you.
I think that's fair. That's fair. I can see that. I felt I still had a rank K-State.
Yeah, I had K-State too.
Yeah. What else? Anything else?
Oh, we're close. We're on the same page. Our Michigan Penn State.
And then the middle, the top of ours is and the bottom of ours is like off, but then the middle is like very similar. We're seeing the same things in the middle. But yeah. But I don't know. Good talking ball with you, Adam. As always, yeah. Thank y'all for listening as well. Of course, appreciate y'all. Hope that you tune in for the next one. Week 4 preview. Gonna be a disgusting slate. There's too many good games, and they're all at the same time, it seems. So that kind of stinks. We'll figure it out, but make sure to comment below what you thought of week 3, who's overrated, who's underrated, what we're saying is that you disagree with, why we're coming off as idiots or geniuses. Just let us know. Make sure to like and subscribe. We appreciate y'all. See you.